Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Ashwagat, Mysore. Today, winding up the series of Jupiter's transit, we are discussing about Jupiter's transit in Aries for this coming year for from the perspective of the sign of Pisces. So, if the ascendant or moon falls in the sign of Pisces, then the transit of Jupiter is in the second from it in the sign of Aries. So, the Vedha point, that is the point of obstruction for second transit, is the 12th. Usually, the second, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, and the 11th. Once again, second, fifth, seventh, ninth, and 11th transit of Jupiter is considered benefic transits. The Vedas are also in the same way, which are negative Vedas. So the negative Veda points are for the second, it is the 12th house, and for the fifth house, it is the fourth. For the seventh, it is the third. For the ninth, it is the 10th, and for the 11th, it is the 8th. So these are the benefic transit, that is 2, 5, 7, 9, 11 are benefic. The malefic Vedas respectively for them are 12, 4, 3, 10, and 8. So this I should have told in the first class. But I am telling it in the last class because I hope knowledge is achieved by those people who have a committed perseverance and will have seen all the classes. People who skip don't get knowledge. So the point here is the 12th house from Pisces is Aquarius, and Saturn is placed in that particular sign for the whole part of 2023, 24, and still ahead. So that means for the full transit of Jupiter in the sign of Aries, Saturn is sitting in the 12th from Pisces to obstruct it. This particularly this has been discussed in many different by many different authors. Avaraha Mihira and Paladipika's Mantreshwara all have discussed about Vedas, but particularly this Veda concept of transit has been very deeply discussed in uh, all major epics. So that is old texts. The Veda concept here will obstruct the results of Jupiter, like family, food, teeth, eyes. These are all peculiarly important. Why the teeth and the eyes? Because Jupiter represents the liver and the pancreas, and people who have a weak liver or a weak pancreas who are suffering from diabetes or indigestion will have weak eyes and weak teeth. People getting glaucoma because of diabetes. So the transit of Jupiter in the second house is a beautiful transit. It gives a lot of wealth, prosperity, good children, good happy occasions in the family. Like if you are spending money, you spend on a happy occasion, you will be happy. Like you are getting your son married, your daughter married, or your son goes abroad for higher education. You are spending money, right? The lot of money what you have earned for many number of years, you will be spending on a marriage. You will be actually that I am against it. Why do you want to have to spend so much money on a marriage? But anyway, I'll not come into that point today. So, second house means the wealth. And when Jupiter is transiting in the second house, you make good use of that wealth. So, who is transiting in the second house? That is how you use your wealth. So, if Saturn is transiting in the second house, you will not be able to use your wealth at all. Until unless Saturn is a Yoga Karaka, ninth lord sitting in the second house, or it is the Lagna lord sitting in the second house, for example, for Capricorn Lagna. So the second house has a lot of significations. And bad luck for Pisces is that there is Rahu transiting in the second house, there is Jupiter transiting in the second house. The ill effects of Rahu is you know, checked by the transit of Saturn in the 12th. The good effects of Jupiter is again checked by Saturn, which is transiting in the 12th house. So let us see the aspects of Jupiter. Jupiter from the second will aspect the 6th, 8th, and the 10th for Pisces. Why 6, 8, 10? Because Jupiter aspects the 5th, 7th, and 9th, and it's one house ahead. So it will be 6th, 8th, and 10th. So all these three houses are a mixture of Trikshthanas, that is 6th and 8th, and Upachaya sthanas, which is 6th and 10th. So what is a Triksthana? The house which might put you into trouble. What sort of trouble? Sixth house might give you diseases or wasteful expenses due to hospitalization, which is seen because of the Saturn's transit in the 12th house. The Triksthanas like the 8th and the Upachaya sthanas like the 6th and the 10th might give you very good placements, foreign travel. You can suddenly get into excellent business propositions. You will make good money, but this is not a good time which will let you peacefully live with your family. So do not argue, because both Rahu and Jupiter, which give rise to what we call as Guru Chandala Yoga, is sitting on your tongue. So there are two houses which actually call themselves as house of speech, house of communication. The second house is the house of speech, Vaksthana. The third house is house of communication, where you do talking to each other or communicating some message to somebody, speaking abilities, vocabulary, all those things are coming in the third house, the flow of thought. Here, the second house is the Vaksthana, the speech. And over that, if you are having a teacher, a wisdom, like Jupiter, and you have Rahu, an impurity, spontaneous answers, unnecessary bakwas, what we call as unnecessary answers which are not required, both mixed together. And it is like, a teacher who is drunk and who is standing in front of many people and trying to deliver his speech. You can expect what he might give out. He's a teacher, but he is drunk because Rahu is there along with it. So the impurity can spoil your image this year by you unnecessarily getting involved in subjects which are not pertaining to you. Do not try to be a moderator or a mediator in a family tussle or conflict. Unnecessarily your name will be spoiled. So don't get into unnecessary trouble. Investments, second house also means that you are gaining good money. But if you are gaining money, the 12th house also means that you are going to put it somewhere and lose it. That is what is Saturn. So if, unless it is not a forced difficulty or a forced obligation, like some parent getting hospitalized or some accident happening, until it is not a forced difficulty, please do not put your money into investments this year. This is for Pisces ascendant and Pisces moon, or Pisces ascendant only, or Pisces moon only. So all three combinations. So don't put your money anywhere unnecessarily, having people telling you that you will be making a lot of profit. So they will urge you to put it, and the urge will be very strong to do it this year. So don't do it until Jupiter is free from Rahu. You are not supposed to put your money anywhere. Saturn will try to stop you, no doubt. That is a lucky thing, that if you are trying to put money, it will stop you. But if you put money, you will never get it back, because Saturn will never allow you to get it back. So again, getting it back also is a process, right? Saturn will stop that. So November, by November, Rahu will be going into Pisces, and Jupiter will be left alone in Aries, which is a good option for Jupiter. And that is the time when you will start getting a relief. So, acquisition of wealth, happiness is seen, and the addition of a person into your family is seen, like childbirth, grandchildren. Some addition of family is seen because both Rahu and Jupiter are very good for this particular thing. So, lot of delays in accomplishing goals because of Saturn. So, be careful when you are doing your investments. Be careful when you are planning your abroad travel or unnecessary travels. Try to limit your travels. This year is going to be a good year if you are not impulsive. So, food has to be regulated. Rahu in the second and Jupiter in the second might ask, might force you into eating more than what is required, or might force you into indulging into the items which are controlled by Rahu rather than the items which are controlled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is sweet, but Rahu will force you into eating too much of sweet. Too much of sweet, you know what will happen. So Jupiter is eating more quantity, but it is sattvic. Rahu along with it will make you eat fried items, oil items, heavy fat and saturated fat, and if you eat that, your liver will get damaged. So when your liver is getting damaged, then the whole body is, that is the biggest organ in our body, so we should not damage that. So all these things are caution for Pisces for this year. So thank you very much for today's class.